Good morning, it's Mr. Wilkinson. Now you should have watched an introduction to Oakfield High School's Maths department before this video, because in this one you're just going to see my hands. So if you haven't watched that video, just stop this one and go back and watch the introduction one. So this video is session 1 and we're going to be looking at curve stitching for 3 lessons. So this is what curve stitching is. We use parabolic curves to make different patterns. You can colour them in or leave them blank, or you could draw these lines in colours. And we're only going to use straight lines, so don't think, I can't draw a neat curve like that. You don't have to. As long as you can draw a straight line, you'll be able to do shapes like this and much more complicated ones. So first of all, let's look at the equipment you're going to need. So you're going to need a ruler, you're going to need a pencil, you're going to need some coloured pencils. Sharpener's good because you need a really nice sharp pencil to do these, and an eraser if you make some mistakes. Later on in other sessions we're going to be drawing circles and other shapes, so you're going to need either a compass or different shapes that are made up of circles that you can draw around. I use this because it's nice and easy on paper, it doesn't make any holes. But you don't need anything like this. You can just use any round shape and draw around it. So this is one I did earlier. And I'm going to show you how you can make your own now. So you can follow along with me. If you get behind, don't worry. Your teacher can pause the video till you catch up, or you can rewind and watch the steps again. So the first thing we're going to do is a nice simple shape where we're going to do number bonds up to 10. So that means we're going to start from 9 and go down to 0. So 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Now squared paper would be better. If not, you've got plain paper, then you just draw the lines and then use your ruler to mark off these different segments. Because you don't actually need these squares. That could be blank. So don't worry if you've not got square paper. I've just got square paper because it's easier. So now I'm going to draw the numbers up there to 9, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Go across here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And number them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now all you're going to do is your number bonds up to 10. And join those numbers up that make 10 with a straight line. So then you get your ruler, we'll start with 1, and 1 and 9 is 10. So you line 9 up, draw a straight line. 2 and 8 add up to 10. So I'm going to draw those with a straight line. 3 and 7. Join to 10, 4 and 6, make 10, 5 and 5 make 10, 6 and 4 make 10. So you see how you can get a nice practice of keep repeating your number bonds without it being boring because you're doing something completely different. So 7 and 3 equals 10, 8 and 2 equals 10, 9 and 1 equals 10. So when you're finished, you should have a nice curve like this, and then inside we've got these 4-sided shapes. They're all different. They're not all different actually, I'll show you why in a minute. And a 4-sided shape, excuse me, is called a quadrilateral. This actually has a diagonal line of symmetry. So if I put this ruler on here, that's where the line of symmetry is. So if I folded this shape about this line, each of these would match to one of those. So they're almost unique, but they're not quite. There's two of each one. So there's this one, there's just one unique one there, but that's the same as that one. That's the same as that one. All on this line of symmetry here. Right, so once you've got to this point, now you can take your colour pencils, and the idea is to make this look as attractive as possible. So there's two things I want you to do. I want you to just colour them in any way you like. So just take colours. And make sure that you don't get any two colours next to each other. So that's next to each other this way, or diagonally as well. So I've got a green here. I don't want a green there. So you could just use, it depends how many colours, you could just use some different colours altogether, couldn't you? There's a pink there. And I could just keep going, filling these different cells in, which are all quadrilaterals. Now I've run out of colours there, so I've used all the colours I've got. So now I just have to be careful when I'm colouring in to make sure. See, I can't put this one and that one together because they join diagonally. So I can't put this blue there. So I need to pick one of the other colours that maybe that I've used higher up, but I can do green there. Now I could use this blue. And then green. You don't have to copy my colours now, you can do anything you like, as long as you don't get two colours together. These look the same, but that's pink and that one's red. I'm not sure what it looks like on your screen, but they are different. And this one, I'll do an orange there. And a yellow. And then you keep going till you've filled in all of this curve. This one again, it's a darker blue than that one, so it isn't the same. This is a dark, no that's not. Can't use that one, I can use this pink. Use a green there. Now it's getting easier because I've got less colours. So less chance of a colour being at the side of another one that's the same. Again, this one is darker coloured than that one. pencils away. So I've coloured all of that in now. I haven't got any quadrilaterals of the same colour next to each other, but I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different colours. Now then, that's not the smallest number of colours you could use to colour these in, so I don't get any two quadrilaterals the same colour. There's a minimum number. So I want you to get your teacher to pause the video here while you have a think about this question. What's the minimum number of colours I could use so that I could colour every quadrilateral in on this shape without having any two colours next to each other? So have a think about that, and then I'll show you the answer next. Right. So this is what I did earlier, and this is how many colours I used. I used a blue, a pink, a green, and a yellow. So 4 is the actual answer. That's the smallest number of colours you need to colour with one of these curves in, so that no two quadrilaterals are the same colour if they're next to each other adjacent. So this is how I did it. This is how I worked today. So I just went blue, pink, blue, pink, blue, pink, blue, pink, all the way up. And then on the next row, so that I was guaranteed that I didn't have anything the same, I used 2 different colours. So I used yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow, green. Now if I use blue and red again, it can't touch any others because this blue and red is separated by the yellow and green. So you can see now if I alternate these, they're next to a yellow and green. And then I alternate it again, and alternate it again, and alternate it again. And you can colour the whole thing in just using 4 colours, and there's not any quadrilateral with the same colour adjacent to it, either across the diagonals or across the flats. And that's the minimum number of colours for any flat shape. You only need 4 colours to colour in any shapes without anything being touching each other. So we've learned 3 things there. We've learned how to curve stitch a nice simple shape. This curve there is called a parabolic curve. We've learned something about colour theorem. If you look up 4 colour theorem on the internet, it'll tell you lots of interesting things about that and about the minimum number of colours. And we've practiced our number bonds. So now we're going to look at extending the shape to get a more complicated shape. So this time we're going to do the number bonds up to 14. So I'm going to do a line across here. Thirteen, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And again, this isn't graph work and it isn't a number line. So normally on a number line, or if you were drawing graphs, once you go left of the 0, these start to become negative numbers, but they're not. It's not a number line or graph work. It's just curve stitching lines. And all numbers on curve stitching lines are positive. So we're going to go up to 13 this way. Don't worry if your piece of paper isn't this big. You could go up to any number you like. Just make sure you go this way, the same number. So if you can only fit 0 to 9, just go 0 to 9 this way as well, because they've got to be symmetrical to work. And I'm going to put the number line this way. So on mine, I'm going to go up to 13 again. I said number line, didn't I? Curve stitching line. So I'll put the vertical curve stitching line this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 12, 13. Now before we do this, can anybody predict what shape we're going to get this time? Have a think about that for a few minutes. Teacher can pause at this point, give you a chance to have a bit of a discussion about it. Okay, let's get started and see what it does actually look like. So the biggest number is 13, so that means I can do my number bonds up to 14, because 13 and 1 gives me 14. 12 and 2 is 14. 3 and 11 is 14. 4 and 10. 14. 5 and 9 is 14. 6 and 8. 14. And what you should be starting to notice is the more numbers you have, the smoother the curve you're going to get. So the next one is 7 add 7 is 14. 8 add 6 is 14. 9 add 5, 14. 10 add 4 is 14. 11 add 3 is 14. 12 add 2 is 14. And 13 add 1 is 14. So we've got a nice parametric curve again. Now we're going to do the same thing on this side. So again, number bonds up to 14. And again, your teacher can pause anytime you like if you need to catch up. So 13 to 1 is 14. 12 and 2 is 14. Check this round. 11 and 3 is 14. 10 and 4 is 14. 9 and 5 is 14. 8 and 6 14. 7 and 7 is 14. 6 and 8 is 14. 9 and 5 is 14. 4 and 10. 14. 11, 14, 2 and 12 is 14, 1 and 13 is 14. Right, so I made a mistake on one of these. Yeah, the 9 and 5 didn't go from the right point. It was 8-bit. So let's put that back in where it should go. Let's see if I can rub out the line without it making a mess. So 9 and 5 is 14. Just tweak my curve out a bit. So don't worry if you make any mistakes, you can fix them afterwards. So what I want you to do is colour these in again, remembering that 4 is the minimum number of colours you can use to colour all that so that nothing's adjacent. But you've got to be careful this time because you've got quadrilaterals that go this way as well as that way. But you can still colour the whole thing in just using 4 colours. So if you go off now and colour this in, pause the video, because when the teacher comes back and you've all done this, hopefully with just 4 colours and you've got nothing adjacent, don't worry if they are adjacent. That's not the point. You're meant to be having fun with this. So just try and get non-adjacent with 4 colours. And then when your teacher comes back and unpauses, I'll show you one that I've done. So hopefully you had fun doing that one. Where's my... Here we go. So let's just cover this up. So if you see there, get my head out of the way. I did the same pattern that I did before. So blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, yellow, green, and repeated it that way. And then did the opposite this way. So instead of starting with blue, red, I started with yellow, green, and then blue, red. Then that way, you get this nice shape, all coloured in, no colours the same at the side of each other. So we're going to extend it one more time. I'm going to use this one again. And this time we're going to come down this way. So you can use the same picture that you've already done. Save you a bit of time. And we're going to drop another vertical line down to 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I'm going to number them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 13. And we're going to do our number bonds on this side from 1 to 14 and a number bond to 14 on this side. And we're going to get a nice shape here that's got lots of lines of symmetry, which we'll have a look at as well. So 1 to 13. 2 to 12. 3 to 11 is 14. 4 to 10. 14. 5 to 9 is 14. 6 to 8 is 14. 7 to 7 is 14. 6 and 8. 14. 9 to 5 is 14. 10 and 4 is 14. 11 and 3. 14. 2. 14. 13 and 1 is 14. So then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Number bonds to 14. Oh, forgot to say, you don't have to do number bonds to 14, so you could do the same pattern but come up to what you want to practice. So you could do 0 to 5 and practice your number bonds up to 6. 0 to 4, you would practicing your number bonds up to 5. So whatever number you go up to, add one on, and that's the number bonds that you're going to be practicing. So this side, so this is just the one I'm doing. I've just chosen to do the number bonds to 14. You can choose whatever you like. It's just the pattern that's important. It'll get you nice symmetrical 4 parametric curve shapes that then you can colour in afterwards. So 13 and 1, 14. 12 and 2 is 14. 11 and 3 is 14. 10 and 4 is 14. 9 and 5 is 14. 8 and 6 is 14. 7 is 14. 6 and 8 is 14. 5 and 9 is 14. 4 and 10 is 14. 3 and 11 is 14. 2 and 12 is 14. And 1 and 13 is 14. So you've got a nice shape now. This has got 4 lines of symmetry. So one down there. So this side of the shape would fold over exactly and fit on this side. That's one line of symmetry. There's one down here. So if you folded where this line is, this half would fit exactly on this half. There's also 2 diagonal lines of symmetry. So I put a line down there and folded this way, this half, this shape would fit exactly over this one. Not only the shape would fit, all these little quadrilaterals would fit on another quadrilateral of exactly the same size. So that's 3, a vertical, a horizontal and a diagonal. And then there's another diagonal this way. So I've put my line there. Again, this shape would fit exactly on this shape, including all the quadrilaterals. So again, even though shape's more complicated and it's going in different directions, you can still colour all of this in just using 4 colours. So that's a bit of extension work for the people who want to try and do it with just 4 colours. Other people might just want to colour it in however they wanted. That's fine. It's your shape. You can do what you like with it. So if your teacher pauses the video now, you can catch up with drawing this, and then you can colour it. Either try and use 4 colours, or just do whatever you like. And when the teacher unpauses it, I'll show you what I did, and we'll have a look at something. So another question, this is even more of an extension question. If you use 4 colours, can you do it so that the colours line up as well on the lines of symmetry? So if I do a line of symmetry here, will the colours be symmetrical as well? So in other words, will I have the same colour here as I have in that square there? So could I do it so that these 2 colours are the same? Have a think about that. Right, so you teach pauses at that point. Welcome back. Right, so I'll show you one that I did and we'll have a look at some of those questions. So this is the one. We'll have a look at the lines of symmetry. So I'd only use 4 colours. So if you have a quick check and look at that, there are no quadrilaterals that have the same colour next to each other, either across the flats or across the diagonals. And all I've used again is blue, red, green and yellow. Just those 4 colours. So if you can check, there's nothing there at all that's the same. Now the other question I asked you was about lines of symmetry. So would the colours be symmetrical as well? So we've got a line of symmetry for the shape, but are the colours symmetrical as well? Well, you just need to look at this line. They can't be symmetrical if you're only using 4 colours. And you've got the condition that they can't be next to each other. Because if you look here, if I've got a blue there, if it's symmetrical, that would have to be a blue. But then I've got 2 blues touching. So there's no way using 4 colours you can make the colours themselves symmetrical as well. It's just the shape. Right, so next session, we're going to be using some geometric shapes. So we're going to be using squares, triangles, and we might get onto circles in the next session, or we might leave the circles till the last session. We'll see how time goes. Right, so see you next session. It's labels session 2.